I'm speaking with Samuel Roy Hodges. How many times have you visited the Czech Republic?
This is the first time I came since the 1945.
How do you like the atmosphere of this year's Liberation Festival?
Oh, it's very good, and I drove the Jeep around the entire round. You know. The driver asked me, "Do you want to drive?" And I said, "Yes, I do." You know, so I toured. The driver took my cap, and I took his helmet.
Can you tell us about your experiences from the war?
Oh well, I joined the 2nd Division in July 1944, and my first job was a first scout, and we toured the hedgerows and fought on the hedgerows, and then we were sent to Brest, France, and I was the first one to go down the streets, and they were shooting at me every time I run down the street, and then we crossed over and went back some buildings trying to get out of the street, and I climbed out a window and got machine gunned, but he missed me. And I went back down, and my two partners was leaving me. And I said, "Where are you guys going? At least you could have come looked at my dead body and told me goodbye." Then we went on to, from there, we went to the Ardennes Forest. And we moved out of the Ardennes Forest 2 days before the Battle of Bull started. We was going to take the Roar River Dam. And we just got started in the Battle of Bulls. They attacked, and we moved back into Krentkel, Belgium. And from there, we backed up and dug in on the Elsenborn Ridge. And as we was moving out of the little town of Krentkel, we got shelled by the Germans. And I was the only one out of my squad that survived. And I got my clothes caught on fire with white phosphorus, and I took them off. I handed another soldier my gun and said, "Hold my gun," until I jerked my coat off. And when I got rid of the coat and put mud all over my face, I asked him for my gun. He said, "I threw it down, let's go." He was so scared. And I said, "Man, you crazy, I'm here without even gun." But next morning I found one somebody else had lost. And so I got it. And so we stayed on that ridge and got shelled day and night. And the foxhole just by us got a direct hit, and me and the fella in the foxhole dug the two boys out and put them on a stretcher. And they were shelling so bad till a Jeep was bringing a wounded soldier, down right by our foxhole, and a shell hit him and killed him. And the soldier fell off and was hollering, "Help me." So me and my foxhole buddy run out under artillery fire and grabbed him and went and threw him in our foxhole, and we piled in on him. You know? And then after that, we was going into a town called Hellenthal, and the lieutenant called me to take my squad down into town, and we was being shelled with artillery as we was in. And it was a long valley, no trees, no ditches, nothing to hide behind. And I told my first scout, I said, "Now run as fast as you can. I'm going to run right behind you." And the rest of them followed. And they didn't, the Germans didn't shoot us. They was waiting for us they wanted to surrender. But another guy took a squad to another place, and he lost 8 men. I said, "Well, it was different at my place because we didn't get a shot fired at us, you know." So somebody was looking out for us, you know. And from there on, we rode tanks, and we'd get off and search a little town, and then get back on a tank and catch another one. And we went all the way to the Elbe River after we searched town after town. And then they sent us to Pilsen. And on our way, we was riding on tanks. We went down the Autobahn highway on tanks, and then we got on tanks and went towards Pilsen. And one guy was a musician from Nashville. He picked up a violin, then a guitar, and I had a mandolin. And we got into Czechoslovakia. We played on top of the tanks, and the girls danced because we were liberating them. They had a big time, you know. And of course, I enjoyed my trip, my stay in Pilsen. And I ran across this little girl, and I got friendly with her, and she wanted to come home with me, you know. But of course, I couldn't take one home with me, you know, on the ship, you know. And then we were sent my squad was sent to Holosov concentration camp, and we stayed there for about 2 weeks and guarded the camp and hauled food to them. And then by that time we was ready to send us back to the States, and we was on our way to the invasion of Japan. We went home for 30 days. They had dropped 2 atomic bombs, and we didn't have to go. And I got out pretty quick because I had lots of points. And even though I hadn't been in the Army very long, I had a lot of battle points. And I was in 5 major battles in Normandy and the Rhine and Battle of the Bulge and in Central Europe and Southern France, you know. And, so anyway, and I was happy to get out and get it over with.
Do you feel welcome in Pilsen?
I would like to come back. They've really treated us great, you know. And of course, they treated us good when we was here before. They was all such nice people, but they didn't have anything hardly, you know. But they were all. We stayed in a home, and they took good care of us. And we moved out into the country for a couple of times, and then we headed towards Lahore, France, and on the boat and back home, yeah. But I would really like to come back. It's really nice. It depends on if my health is good. I wouldn't mind.